Hi guys, good evening. Let's roll. Third and final video of the day. Oh boys, I've been having a long think today about what to do with this channel, but we'll come to that in a minute. Let's have a look at our background image today, shall we? What do we see? Do you recognize it? Some of you will, I'm sure. It's a real famous painting by a guy called Yeats, I think. Its title is When Did You Last See Your Father? Well, that's a popular question in America at the moment regards a certain demographic where there seems to be an absence of fathers. Counts for a lot of things that have gone wrong in America. Okay, but back to the painting. Shall I tell you what I see? And I'm sure I'm going to miss something. I see a young boy. He's obviously being questioned as to the whereabouts of his father. We can see that it's from the time of the British Civil War, when the Roundheads, that's the guy in the armour, the military man, the officer sat down on the chair with a yellow sash. Yellow sash meant that he was fighting for Oliver Cromwell. He was a Roundhead. The guard protecting, holding the young girl is a sergeant. You can tell from the weapon in his hand. The young boy in blue is obviously the son of the father that the Puritans who question him are looking for. And he's a royalist, Charles I. I'm guessing Charles was still alive then before they lopped his head off. Up on the top left-hand corner, what do we see? Well, I'm guessing that's the boy's mother. Maybe a nanny behind her. They're wondering what their son is going to say, what his son's going to say. Will he reveal where his father is? Does he know where his father is? Is his father alive? The young girl is crying. Perhaps that's why the guard has his arms around her to comfort her. But what about the Roundheads? Let's have a look at them. Oh, they look a grim bunch, don't they? They used to burn books, you know. Yeah, they really started the book burning thing. Anything like that they believed that the Bible was the only book that should be read, really, and other stuff. And so they're after information. What about that guy stood in the doorway? What's he got there? Oh, it's a cask. Is that where perhaps the family kept their important papers? Who can tell? I wish I knew more. Apparently, if you go look, there are sites. Well, I'm sure there are sites. If you go look, you can find out more about this painting, if you so choose. But I thought I'd put it there as a background while I tell you what I've been thinking about the channel. Because I jumped into creating a channel without really thinking about the implications and what it would involve. I'm not frightened of hard work. I was a radio operator on a 10-class Mindhunter, the only radio operator. I know what it's like to stay awake for days on end and work. But no, originally I did mention I only started it up to make a video to give a reason of why I joined Advance UK and not Reform. Well, I fulfilled our obligation, and I thought, well, now I've learned how to use OBS, CapCut, Break, and a host of other tools required to churn out a channel properly, and gone to the effort of learning how to do it. What shall I do with the channel now? And my first instinct was to turn it into a purely Advance UK support site. Of course, I'd have to have a disclaimer that any views I express were purely my views and not necessarily the views of Ben Habib's party. Um, Perhaps I shouldn't have joined. I could be more outspoken then if I was to run it as an advanced UK support site. I could do that. But if I was to run it as an advanced UK site, well, I'd only be reaching a certain amount of people because obviously anyone who didn't agree with the policies of advanced UK, they're not going to want to watch it. Well, some would because they want to know what the other side is thinking. That's the way my mind operates. I watch everything and listen to everything, even if I disagree with it and sometimes feel like spitting on my computer screen, which I used to do about 20 years ago when something really upset me, but then I kind of grew up. But that's the trouble with sailors, isn't it? Like it's like our mother says, the young boy says to his mother, Mum, when I grow up, I want to be a sailor. And the mother says, make your mind up, son, you can't be both. Sailors never grow up. I don't know about the army. I don't even know what the army thinks. I don't even know if the army thinks. But, or Royal Marines either, come to that. And as for the Brill Cream boys, well, they look pretty in their ties, don't they? Anyhow, back to the channel. So I was thinking today, what are you going to do, Paul? Just what are you going to do? So I spent the day going around the internet, looking at other sites, trying to find out what motivates them. And as always, usually, I'm not saying this is all of them, but it's money. They all want money. And there's nothing wrong with wanting money. I mean, I'm not saying I'm lucky. Money has never really motivated me in my life. I became successful in computers and computer management because it was something I enjoyed doing. Designing a system from the bottom to the top and then getting it implemented. Anyone who's been a programmer, who is a programmer will understand what I'm saying. Basic, COBOL, C++, Visual Basic, 1, 2, 3, Clipper, DB3, Ashton Tate, SQL. I've done it all and I really enjoyed it. So work for me was never work, it was play. Now, back to this channel. What to do? I could go the advanced UK path, just push stuff, British politics. The most boring politics in the world, to be honest. Give me American politics anytime. They seem to have more real men, more characters, more outspoken people, no wimps and pussies like we have. Oh, at least what we've got in the established parties. American politics is great fun. But then I thought, no, I don't really want to do that. And if there's something I don't really want to do, then I can't do it. I just can't. I'd rather walk away. And then I thought, well, you're not doing it for the money, Paul. You've already given your word that you'll never accept donations, solicit donations, PayPal, put behind a paywall, advertising. I don't know how that's controlled, if I have any say over that on YouTube, but I would never accept advertising. So no kind of financial remuneration. So why would I do it? Well, funnily enough, it was a lady who left a comment today. She said she enjoyed the story about my family. And you know what? I went and played it and it brought back memories of my father. And I liked it. And I thought, okay, Paul, yeah, you do it. Keep the channel up. Post a video when you want to post a video. And only post about things I want to post about. If people want to follow the channel, then they can. If they don't follow, it doesn't matter. Not to me. I'm not trying to make money out of it. I'm just doing it for my own benefit and someone else's benefit. You've heard me mention my great-granddaughter. I worship her. I wish I could show you photographs so you'd understand why. But having said that, I wouldn't care if she looked like a frog. I'd still love her. But she's beautiful. And I'm 76 and she's 5. I just want, one of the reasons recently I lost 3.5 stone, 3.5 stone in just over 4 months was because I was playing with her on the floor and I couldn't get up. I literally had to drag myself up. And that was a big wake-up call for me. And so I went and lost 3.5 stone. And I'm trying to get myself as fit as possible. And for once, I'm looking after my health. Before, I never cared. Death doesn't frighten me. What was it Peter Pan said? To die will be an awfully big adventure. And that's the way I've always looked at it. But now, I want to live long enough to see my great-granddaughter watch this video. Someone should say, hey, that was my great-grandfather. And he was talking about a painting. So this is why I'm going to keep the channel going, guys. Not for you, but for a little girl living in Wales. Now, what else should we talk about? Well, I can talk about anything I like now. If what I've said displeases you, well, we're British patriots. Nothing anyone says should offend you. Anyone who takes offence at words and says, I'm offended, well, you talk to a soy boy then. Men don't get offended. They listen and laugh. And that's the other thing. Looking around the YouTube and seeing all the channels, people outraged over this, outraged over that. And they seem to have to, it's like kind of virtue signaling in reverse. I'm really outraged over this. The left have done this. Good Lord, nobody despises the left more than me. Nobody. I'm going to show you something tomorrow on a video. I'll talk about the left. In fact, I'll be talking harder and tougher and touching on subjects that people will find unpleasant and they will disagree with what I'm going to say. But that's the way it's going to be because this is what I want to do. It's the only way I know how to play. Anyhow, let's kind of start that ball rolling now, shall we? Have a look at this image. Who is it? You know who it is, despite not being able to see the name. It's the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. God, we hate Russia, don't we? We've been told to hate Russia. Our government hates Russia. America hates Russia. All the world, except the Russians, hate Russia and Putin. In Russia, they love the man because he's a real man, a real leader. He speaks up and defends the Russian people. And the Russian people in East Donbass, who the Ukrainians were trying to ethnically cleanse since 2014, after a Western-inspired coup, color revolution. We had snipers there the day the Russian speakers were burnt in their hotel alive while the crowd cheered outside. Oh, we've done some terrible things, boys. NATO was advanced eastwards consistently. The NATO flag that I once sailed under and was proud to serve, they've outlived their purpose. Now they exist only for their purpose and for war. 1990 was it when the Berlin Wall fell? They said, don't worry, we won't advance eastwards. And yet year by year, NATO was expanded and pushed further and further eastwards. And whilst taxpayers pay more and more money to buy the weapons and build the armies, The people who fund them grow poorer and poorer. And finally, they arrived. Do you know, Vladimir Putin wanted close ties with the West from day one. But like in Animal Farm, the pigs needed an enemy that they could scare the rest of the animals with. Do you remember? So they came up with Snowball. And then when they drove Snowball out of the farm, they could blame him for everything. And now we blame Russia for everything. The American elections were brilliant, wasn't they? Russia did this, Russia did that. What a joke it all is. Anyhow, this video is getting far, far too long. So that's starting to talk about Russia and President Putin. I think you'll hear me talk about him a lot. I admire him. He speaks out for his people. Who would you rather have as your leader? Tell me, Britain. You tell me. Tootia Keir Starmer, a liar, rent boys in his basement, funded by some foreign dude who buys him and his wife's clothes. I think his wife is just for show, to be honest. She's a show wife. Or someone like President Putin. Yeah, KGB officer. He knows the ropes. He's proven his courage. He proved it in East Berlin, didn't he? When everything else was collapsing, and he faced the mob alone with nothing more than a revolver. Wow, the guy is a brave man. You should do some research into him. And ask yourself this, why can't you read or watch Russia Today? Why can't you get it? Freedom of speech. I'll say this for the Americans, if I want to watch Russia Today, I just use a VPN, jump over to America, and then jump over to Russia. Thank God, America, you've got the First Amendment and the Second Amendment to defend the First. I always say it. America, defend your first with your second. Otherwise, you'll wind up like us in the United Kingdom. Prison Island. And if you want us to be your number one airstrip, like we've been for decades, and you want to overthrow a government, don't overthrow the Russian one. Come and overthrow my government. I'll help it. Oh, nothing better than a bit of talk of treason and sedition, is there, boys? Anyhow, there's that. But regardless of what you think of President Putin, have a look what he said there. A society that cannot defend its children has no future. He said that quite some time ago, actually. He's not wrong, is he? Are we defending our children? Parents who have tried to defend their children have been arrested, like the father who went to a place where his young daughter was being held by those people. I'm going to take it a little bit easy on words for a while. And he was arrested. They said his daughter was there under her own free will. She was, I think, 16. Oh, God. No, we can't even defend our own children. Our politicians won't defend our children. What did that Labour MP said about the girls who had been abused? Should shut up. They should shut up for the sake of, not diversity, peaceful harmony, something like that. But she said it. They don't care. Politicians don't care. They live in their sort of own bubble. And so long as they can get paid, they are happy. So, regardless of what you think of Vladimir Putin, a society that cannot defend its children has no future is right. I tell you something. Let's think about someone like Tom Hanks. What do you think of Tom Hanks? I know what I think of him. I don't like him as a man one little bit. But I certainly enjoyed him in some of his films, like The Green Mile. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There are one or two of his movies I have enjoyed. So, should I stop watching them because I don't like him as a person? No. I wouldn't pay to go and see one of his films. However, if it was free and I had access, and I can get access to anything, yeah, I'd watch it. I can separate myself from the part he's playing and the person he really is. And that's the way it should be. Well, back to the site. You've got a choice, guys. You can either help me make this channel grow or not. If you don't wish to, that's fine. I'm not begging. I've never begged in my life. Please, please, please. Right. Yeah. So if you, not all videos are going to be like this. I'll be returning to normal service. What I'm going to try and do is build up the channel a bit more so I can really take my gloves off and go to war with the world. And you can help. Said it before. Watch the videos to the end if you're going to watch. Like, subscribe. Oh, but before I go on, it drives me nuts when I go onto videos and the first thing they do is say, like, subscribe, smash that like button. Oh, Well, they want me to like something before I even see it? Yeah, next time I go into a restaurant and they bring me the dinner and say, did you like it? I say, I don't know, I haven't fucking tried it yet. You've got to give me a break. No. And here I am asking you to like and subscribe so I can build the channel. You bloody hypocrite, Paul. Well, it's got to be done. Bite the bullet and do it. Now, comments. I really do read every single comment. And some I try to reply to most of them. I might miss some, but I do try. I don't respond really to ones that call me a liar. One guy today made me laugh. He said I was pretending to be a journalist. Whenever I ever said that I'm a journalist, I'm not a journalist. As Mark Dice would say, I'm just a guy in the kitchen, and I really am in the kitchen. Oh, I like Mark Dice. I've got one of his sweatshirts. I even bought one of his face masks during that fake pandemic. Yeah, when all the people drank the Kool-Aid. Do you know, in my community, a lot of young people have died of heart attacks. A lot. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that it's related, because it's kind of rude, isn't it, to ask someone who's crying over the loss of their partner, had he taken the jab? 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. But there we go. Right. Oh yes, and so the comments. I will respond, but yeah, please leave comments. I want to know what you think. Would you like me to make a video on a specific subject? I'm thinking of doing one on Western Sahara. Why Western Sahara? Something really interesting has just happened over there, and it affects the way the world works. And yet I'm not seeing anything in the press about it. But when I do the video, you'll understand why. Anyhow, guys, thank you for time. Listen, if Vladimir's upsetting you that much, let's go back to the little boy being grilled by his interrogators. You have been listening to Paul Morris, voice of the British Resistance. Come on, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me I'm a dickhead if that's what you think. I really don't mind. One thing I won't do is I won't be rude back to you. And that's another word, word of honor I give you. I will not be rude. I might be cutting, but I wouldn't be rude. Okay, see you on the beach, guys.